morning, ladies and gentlemen. Saya ucapkan selamat pagi, salam sejahtera, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I would like to welcome all the participants of our today professional development. Okay, so today I will be the host. So before I pass the microphone to the moderator of the our today's session, I would like to open this representing Teflin, our program today, by having our company profile and several information from Teflin while waiting for other participants to join. Okay, now I would like to have our Teflin profile on screen. Okay, that's a short introduction about Teflin. So our today's program is part of our commitment to develop the English teaching in Indonesia by conducting training for teachers all over Indonesia. And I also have several information from Teflin as an organization that might be useful for teachers, and please feel free to disseminate all the informations that we have. So we have uh, our new book series. So I will send the link on our chat box. So we have a free book series, and if you wish to have this book freely, you can download from our website. Yeah, it is in teflin.org. So this book, so you can just click the link of the book, and then you will get the book, and then you can just click download. So we have 7 new book series from our division of publication. So if you wish to have that, just go to our website. And then we have our upcoming conference. Teflin conference, it will be conducted online in Zoom, so you don't have to spend any budgets to go to Padang. Yeah, it will be held in September 9 to 11, 2021 in Padang, Indonesia. So it will be the 67th Teflin International Virtual Conference and the 9th ICOELT, yeah, 2021, which is the conference held by Universitas Negeri Padang. And the speakers of the upcoming conference can also be seen through our website. I will send you the link of the website shortly in our chat box. And then the theme for the upcoming conference is English language teaching and learning beyond the border, humanity, innovation, technology, and communication, along with many sub-themes. So I have also give you informed that the important dates that we have for the abstract submission deadline is going to be really approaching because it will be in April the 30th, 2021. So you can get further information through our information later on. And then we also have the upcoming activities in cooperation with British Council. So as our preliminary programs was also a cooperate result of our cooperation with British Council. So we will also have the upcoming program on the next Saturday, 17 April 2021. So it will be live on YouTube British Council Indonesia. So you can just watch on YouTube. Yeah, and then if you would like to have a free event with e-certificate, you can register over there. I will send this information or this flyer through our chat box. Okay, now I need to inform the house rules before I pass the microphone to our moderator today. So mute your microphone to help keep background noise to a minimum. Make sure you mute your microphone when you are not speaking. When you are demanded to speak to the facility by the facilitator, you can use the microphone later on. And then the second rule, turn off your video while following the session of the program because disabling video in a big meeting will have increased the clarity and the quality of the meeting. And then the last one, checked box is only intended for delivering questions and information sharing. Your question should begin with hashtag ASK, hashtag asked, so it will be easier for our moderator and our host to help collecting the question during the session. So thank you very much. That's the house rules and also the opening session. So on behalf of Teflin, I would like to once again welcome you all to our today's professional development. And I would like to pass the microphone to our moderator, Prof. Isi Yuliasri from Universitas Negeri Semarang. Prof. Isi, time is yours.
Okay.
Okay,
Now
now,
can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay, good. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, teachers all over Indonesia. I'm Isi Yuliasri. I'm happy to be the moderator for today's program. Yeah. And first of all, I'd like to thank you all for participating in this program. And so, welcome to these very important sessions that we have today for teacher development program organized by Teflin. We have two outstanding speakers with us today, Ibu Dewi Roh Santiningsi, MED, PhD, and Ibu Haruni Manik Ayu Yamin, Humaniora. So let me read you what we are going to have today. First, Ibu Dewi Rosanti will have a 45-minute session from 9:10 to 9:55 with 5 minute with 30 minutes talk and 10 minutes Q&A. And then after that, we will have 5-minute break. Afterwards, we'll have Ibu Harumi to use an 80-minute session from 10:05 to 11:25, including teachers sharing of success stories. We will close the overall program at about 11:30. Now, I'd like to read the code of conduct for today's program again. We would like all the participants to turn off the videos and microphones during the talks, and you may turn on the videos during the Q&A session. Please do not give unnecessary comments in the chat box because we'll use the chat box for Q&A only. If you want to ask question, please type hashtag and ask followed by the question in the chat box. I hope that is clear to everyone here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's start the sessions. In the first session, Ibu Dewi is going to talk about effective classroom English phrases. Using English expressions for English teachers in the class is really important for the purposes of organizing the teaching, providing learning for students, initiating interaction, delivering language input, and modeling the language itself. In this presentation, Ibu Dewi will share the English expressions commonly used in the classroom and uncover why many teachers reported to use small percentage of English expressions. But before starting this first session, I would like to introduce the speaker, Ibu Dewi, to you. Dr. Randa Devi Rosantiningsih, MED, PhD, teaches at the English Department of FKIP Universitas 11 Maret. She gained her graduate studies in Australia from Sydney University for her MED and from Macquarie University for her PhD. She has major interest in the classroom action research, curriculum development, and English for specific purposes. She has carried out various research on these fields. In regards with the classroom English, Ibu Dewi was in charge of the UNS team to set the syllabus, to develop the module and the assessment, and train hundreds of program immersive teachers, where subject teachers in Central Java had to teach their subjects in English. She was also active in training subject teachers who taught at RSBI school, RSBI, the similar immersive program at the national level. Now let's welcome Ibu Dewi to give the talk. Ibu Dewi, please.
Thank you so much, Ibu Isi, Prof. Isi, for such a beautiful introduction. Very impressive. Let me just share. Could you please, Mbak Ayu, allow me to share my presentation? Hello, everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nice to see you.
Waalaikumsalam. Nice to see you.
I hope you are fine. Yeah, in a good health.
Bu Dewi, hello.
Hi.
Bugalo is here.
Nice to see you, everybody.
Nice to see you.
Good
Mbak
day,
Ayu?
how are you?
Good, thank you, Ibu. Thank you. Mbak Ayu, bagaimana? Can I share?
Iya, sudah, Bu. Silakan.
All right. Okay, let me. All right. Hold on a minute. Can you see my presentation here?
Clearly.
Ma'am.
Your screen?
It's clear, Ma'am.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bapak Ibu, I'm excited and very glad to have the opportunity to be with you to share this interesting topic about the classroom English or classroom expression, classroom phrases used for the teachers in their classes. Bapak Ibu, actually classroom English is something which is very familiar for us as English teacher, because classroom English is something that become our routine, Bapak Ibu, where we use this expression talking to our students in regard or in terms of doing our job as a teacher, like for example, to ask our students to do something, to manage the classroom and things like that. So it's actually something which is very familiar for us as an English teacher. This classroom English, all together with the students, we all perform that kind of classroom interaction, Bapak Ibu, where teachers talk to the whole class, and then sometimes teachers need to talk by her or by himself in relation to the explaining something explaining or describing the lesson, and then also teacher talk to a group of students where the teacher lead the discussion, for example, and then for student it's when student talk to teacher, student talk to other student, student talk to the groups, or student talk to the whole class. That's the classroom English, which is used and perform this kind of interaction, classroom interaction. Bapak Ibu. In this case, teacher can deal with feelings, opinion, encouraging students, sometimes asking question, making correction, give information, or other assignment, other things that usually done by teachers in the classroom. And student in this case, usually they use English classroom for expressing their ideas, to ask question, also to answer to question, and then also to communicate in the group usually, or we expect them to do that in the classroom, Bapak Ibu. Sound familiar, I think. Nothing new in this case so far. Now I would like to share with you on the importance of classroom language, in this case English used in the classroom. I take some from some experts. Let me start from Noonan. It's old tradition, 1991, but still relevant with the current situation, saudara-saudara, Bapak Ibu, that teacher talk is very important. Let me just read what Noonan said. Teacher talk is of crucial importance, not only for the organization of the classroom, but also for the processes of acquisition, language acquisition, for the organization and management of the classroom, through language that teachers either succeed or fail in implementing their teaching plans. Bapak Ibu, saudara-saudara, ladies and gentlemen, it's I hope you agree that teacher talk, classroom language that we use may not only encouraging something good for our student, but also in case of a certain situation, it also have some negative impact on the teaching and learning, that eventually it also affected to the achievement of our students, Bapak Ibu. Teacher talk is important because it is probably the major source of comprehensible target language input, especially in the foreign, where English is the foreign language. Most likely, still in some places, still class our English is probably maybe the only input, the language input, saudara-saudara. Although internet is available, but we know that internet is not inclusive in, especially in the remote area. So in that situation, most likely our language is our English is the only input for our student. Noni mentioned that instructional language used by teachers should always serve the objective of providing student acquisition and also acquaintance with the language, promoting learning, and then also initiating class interaction that later on leading to communication, meaningful communication, Bapak Ibu. Let me just go on. Um, Zhou and Zhu mentioned that providing opportunities that language classroom may provide opportunities for learners to communicate in the target language and enable them to learn the target language through meaningful use of the language itself. And also it's providing comprehensible input, Bapak Ibu. I think I just mentioned Noni, so I just go on to the next one that still from Zhou and Zhou. The amount and type of teacher talk is even regarded as decisive factor of success or failure in classroom teaching. This is similar to the before the opinion that I mentioned before. And then Stern mentioned that if the second language is learned as a foreign language in a language class, in a non-supportive environment, instruction is likely to be the major or even the only source of target language input, Bapak Ibu. This is true. And then I can make a very short insight from the what they said, so that the importance of language classroom in this case is for us, for the teacher, is like for delivering the lesson, for organizing the classroom, and for students. This is the opportunity to practice their English, which then can promote learning opportunities. And then through the classroom language, it is the time or the opportunity to construct the language development. And also it's provide student with language acquisition, and of course helping students to get use of the language, in this case English. Classroom language also provide the comprehensible language input. This is true, and if we reflect to our own experience, when we talk to our student, we try our best to speak in the type of language that we sure that our student understand our language. And also classroom interaction can initiate classroom interaction, meaningful classroom interaction, and also promoting communication in target language or in English. So this is very, very important. Our talk as a English teacher, as a language teacher, is very, very important, Bapak Ibu. Now then, but there is a but in here. There is a but. Okay, this is important, but it's important, or it works as the points, the pointers that I mentioned before work, as long as all needs or require this situation, Bapak Ibu. As long as the teacher language is appropriate in terms of the pronunciation, the grammar, the word or the vocabulary being chosen for appropriate for the student, Bapak Ibu, or appropriate for the student in accordance with their language competence, experience, and proficiency. This is very true. As long as we not exactly familiar with the capability of our student in terms of their language, then we can choose to what level that are comprehensible by the student. Uh, it also requires meaningful. The language classroom should be meaningful and concerned with uh, the student necessity, Bapak Ibu. And the language or the classroom language being used is a serious attempt to communicate, yeah, Bapak Ibu. It's a serious attempt to communicate, not just to simulate or to make uh, simulate a fake, not real communication, Bapak Ibu. And also it requires kind of language that enable them to learn the target language through meaningful use of it. And more than that is that both teachers and learners make an effort to make their speech or their language comprehended by using communicative strategies. Helping students, for example, if for example, as a simple word for like they we identify that our student not really get the idea of uh, uh, knife, for example. It's a simple word, but it can be difficult. It can be a source of difficulty for your student. So instead of using knife, we can also help our student to understand that by using sign language, something like or using other description, like you can use something to cut. Something to cut is explanation or another communicative strategies to make your student understand that what knife is, Bapak Ibu. Okay, this is this diagram just shows how student talk, which we aim that students are able to communicate, to talk in a appropriate way, is really affected by the model, by the language input that available in the class, or being not only available in unintentional way, but it's designed by the teacher that through these activities, through the modeling, through the guided instruction, to the collaborative task, and through independent task, so that student will have the more and more capability, comprehension, and able to perform either in the written or in the through the spoken language, so that their capability is getting better and better. And so we cannot underestimate our uh, classroom language, Bapak Ibu. We cannot underestimate that. And if we know, if we aware, if we realize the importance of the classroom language, but why in the real situation, maybe in not in your situation, Bapak Ibu, but in many situations out there, teachers, I work with lots of teachers, Bapak Ibu. So I got some experience and also from the articles from the other people and some of my research. Uh, Many teachers are reluctant to use classroom language, to use English in for teaching English, Bapak Ibu. In many situations, teachers use most likely for the opening, and then a little bit during the main teaching, Bapak Ibu, a little bit during the main teaching, and then later on during the end of the lesson, Bapak Ibu. So mostly for the opening and then closing, and scattered in between during the main teaching, Bapak Ibu. Some from the theory, it's understandable since many teachers learn English after childhood, so that it's they 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 encounter some difficulties to use the authentic. The authentic is the fixed phrases, the appropriate expression of the of English, Bapak Ibu. In this case, teachers should make a particular effort, seek to, because this is their job, Bapak Ibu, because this is our job to use English in our class. If I feel that I lack of genuine language expression, then I need to know where I can get that. Most likely, videos, movies provide. It will be good if we can go to the English-speaking country and learn directly from, or we can go to the school and see what really happened in the class and what kind of language used there. But otherwise, there are other things that can help us, like as I said, using video or other sources, or learn the phrases which is available in many, especially internet. What is not available in the internet, everything is in there. So likewise, students also experience this kind of thing, but also hold on. Again, let me back to the teacher. Interview with teachers, many teachers. Uh, when I ask them why, Bapak Ibu, really sorry to say, but if, for example, the allocation time for in one class is, let's say, 45 minutes or 40 minutes, it's less than 20 minutes you speak English, or probably just 10 minutes, and 10 minutes is, as I said, is distributed in the opening, some a little bit in the main teaching, and then in the ending the lesson. Why is that so? Why are you reluctant to use English? People said something like there are two things that common they mentioned, Bapak Ibu. One is they worried if they use English, then their student have difficulties to understand the lesson. Yeah, that is very common for teachers, and this is probably the major reason why teachers are reluctant to use English in class. They are sure that the students are able to understand the lesson. I don't know whether it's really the situation, Bapak Ibu. Back to the first pointer, Bapak Ibu, for teachers who say that they are worried that the students may not grasp the lesson appropriately if they use more English. But then when I asked this teacher, look, Ibu, if you have that kind of worry, you concerned with that, what if you teach English in Bahasa Indonesia? Let's say you deliver your lesson your English lesson in Bahasa Indonesia. Are you sure? Are you sure? 100% sure that your student will be better in understanding your lesson? They are not sure, Bapak Ibu. They are not sure. So again, Bapak Ibu, it's very logical. If they worry, the student do not understand the lesson if using English. And my question is, are you sure if you use 100% Bahasa Indonesia to deliver your English lesson, are you sure that they understand better? And they are not sure. They are not sure either, Bapak Ibu. Okay. Students' concern, student problem. Usually they are not able, still lack of ability to make question, to ask question, to raise their idea on how to raise their idea, on how to debate, for example, on how to say agree, not agree, something like that. Lack of vocabulary, lack of grammatical mastery, and sometimes also uncomfortable to use the language. Malu ibu, nggak enak deh rasanya. Something like that's the answer from the student. Now, Bapak Ibu, in this case, how to encourage teacher? How to encourage teacher to use as many as possible, as much as possible, classroom English in their English classes. There are some suggestions here. First is to remember the importance of using classroom English, the role of classroom English that play important roles in many ways for our student. And then remember to perform modeling throughout the lesson. Cobalah, try your best to do modeling throughout the class, and then make conscious choices to use easier, comprehensible phrases. Then also to recycle language structure and vocabulary, to use again and again in a different situation, for different tasks, for example, so that the student will get more and more getting familiar and familiar. And then in other way also to support the use of new vocabulary, to offer to make them more understand, is to offer definition of the new vocabulary, and also we can reformulate the responses of students to help them make the message clear for other students. If we think that the sentence is not quite right, not really works for other students to understand, then we help them to say in other way, in other words. That also explain if our students use a certain vocabulary or certain way of expressing the. Now, Bapak Ibu, we come to the classroom English itself, the types of classroom English. At least there are plenty more than this, Bapak Ibu, but this time I share language, classroom language being used at the beginning of the lesson, at the end of the lesson, to use the language for simple instruction, and then on to manage, to regulate the situation, making correction, and then some expression to use for spontaneous situation. Bapak Ibu, I will leave you the example of the expression, but and also this PowerPoint, so that you can, if you are interested, you can download it, download from the chat box later on. But now I would like to ask your help, Bapak Ibu. Ibu Prof. Isi, could you please choose one teacher?
Okay.
I will ask them to make these phrases alive.
Okay.
Thank you,
Pak
Prof.
Adi Prasetya. Pak Adi Prasetya, are you there? Can you hear us? Okay, he's not here. Uh, Ibu Eni Setia. Okay, Ibu Eni Setio, are you there? Okay. Ibu Inayah Malahayati. Ibu Inayah, can you turn on the microphone, please?
Hadir Pak Adi Prasetya.
Oh, okay, Pak Adi Prasetya, you are there. Pak Adi.
Pak Adi, Pak Adi,
Yes.
can you help me? There are some expression here to say hello to the student, and then there are 4 type of expression here. Would you like to make this alive one by one, Pak Adi? So I don't mean you to read, but to make it alive, you say it to your student, Pak Adi. Thank you.
I'm sorry because I'm not focused because I'm waiting examination.
I can do it if you want to.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. Siapa ini, Pak? Siapa?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Pak Satria.
Okay.
Pak
Yeah, I'm
Satria.
sorry.
Thank you,
Okay,
Pak
yes.
Satria. That's
Okay.
fine, Pak Adi. That's okay.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
I will try, right? Okay.
Yes,
Thank you,
please.
Ibu Ayu. Okay. Good morning, class.
Fantastic. Yes. Go
Good
on.
morning, class. How are you today?
Good. Good. Yes, go on, Pak.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. Good morning, class. How are you today? Let's we begin our lesson now.
Yeah.
Today we are going to learn about preposition, something like that.
All right. Okay. Before
Okay.
that, Pak, can you just read? Can you just make alive this expression, Pak, before doing the more real situation?
Okay. In the real situation.
No, this one. This one. Can you
Okay.
see the? Can you see the slide? Can you see the slide?
Yeah. I see.
Yes.
I see the slide.
Right. Monggo, Pak.
Yes. I will read this.
Yeah.
Pardon?
But do not just read. Make it alive.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Very
How are
good.
you today? Okay,
Good.
something like that.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody, let's begin our lesson now.
Yes.
And okay, you stop talking and be quiet because we will start our lesson now. Okay, thank you very much.
Are you that stern in the class?
Yeah.
It's frightening. It's frightening.
Okay.
All right. Jadi
Okay.
beberapa sudah di as
Yeah.
already mentioned.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Bu Isi, Prof. Isi, can I ask a lady, please?
Okay.
To make it alive?
Could I try?
Yes,
Yes, please.
Could I
Yeah,
try?
please do. Please do.
Okay.
Ibu Galuh.
Hello, Bu Dewi, Bu Isi.
Wih,
I'm Bu
Ibu
Galuh here.
Galuh. Ibu Galuh.
Alhamdulillah, I can meet you.
Alhamdulillah, I miss you so much.
I miss you too. Yeah, Bu Isi and Bu Dewi, I'd like to try
Yes, please.
to use those classroom language in my class. Yeah, we know that now we have daring. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I always do like this. Okay, students. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Nice to see you again today. How is life? And then my students will answer, I'm fine, ma'am, and you? Okay, I'm okay, thank you. Is anyone absent today? Before starting our class, let me have a prayer first. And I'd like to ask for the help of the class leader to lead the to pray. Okay. And then the class leader will lead the friends to pray for some minutes. And then I say, okay, thank you, class leader. And now before we go to the main topic, I'd like to remind you the material. Okay, that's what I do in the first or in the beginning, Bu Dewi.
All right, thank you,
Is that?
Ibu Galo. Fantastic, fantastic, Ibu Galo. I know that. I know you. I know you quite well, Bu Galo. Thank you so much.
I see.
Right.
Thank you, Bu Dewi.
Okay. Now for the simple instruction, Bapak Ibu, let's see this one. The simple instruction. I will leave this with you, Bapak Ibu. I hope it will be beneficial for you. Here are some common instruction. Can you just read? Can you just read siapa ya? Who's next?
Ibu Nur Hidayah.
Ibu Nur Hidayah.
Okay.
Like,
Yes, I am here.
yes.
Okay.
Could you just read?
Read.
Ibu Nur, would you like to read?
Yes, good day. Okay. I just read.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Come in. Go out. Stand up. Sit down. Come to the front. Desk. Stand by your desk. Put your hands up. Put your hands down.
Yeah.
Hold your book. Hold your pencil.
Okay.
Show me your pencil.
Yeah, okay. So we don't have to read them all, but this is an example of the common instruction that is very short, very brief, and easy to understand, Bapak Ibu. And I'm glad that Bu Nur has used the features of the spoken language, the linking. Yeah, I heard Bu Nur not saying come in, but Bu Nur say come in. Not say go out, but say go out, go out. So she already used the linking between go and out, which is very good, Ibu, because many teachers still miss or leave the linking and it sounds like come in, go out, stand up. So this teacher missed the d sound and the linking. So this teacher may miss two kind of the features of the spoken language. D-nya hilang and then not using the linking. Sometimes become stand up instead of stand up. So I'm very happy Bu Nur is already remember to use the linking. You already have, you know about linking, you know about the diphthong, but sometimes when we are using that, we miss that. But Bu Nur's using this one. Your English sounds more English, Bapak Ibu, if you use the features of spoken language, like I mentioned, instead of saying go on, it's not quite well. Usually people will use linking it to go on, yeah, instead of go on. Go on. It sounds more Japanese probably. All right. Although it's understandable, but if we can make it better, why don't we, Bapak Ibu? Okay. So we don't go to the whole things, but let's just have a look to the other kind of classroom language. Can we just go to the end of the lesson, Bapak Ibu? I think you are also familiar with this. End of the lesson is something like this one. Tolong Ibu Isi, Prof Isi.
Yes.
Can you just have a look?
Okay.
A gentleman, probably. Anybody want
Okay,
to?
Bapak Gusdin or anyone who wants to volunteer? Bapak Gusdin, are you here? Okay, if Bapak Gusdin is not here, so please, anyone, would you please volunteer yourself? Maybe the prelim. Yeah, okay. Ibu, who is it?
Pini
Yeah.
Hartati.
Okay, Ibu Pini Hartati, please do.
Just read this expression or my expression?
I just read this one, Bu.
Just read this expression, okay?
Yeah, please.
Okay. It is almost time to stop. Well, student, it is almost time to stop.
Good.
I'm afraid it is time to finish now. Well, have to stop here. There's the bell. It's time to stop. That's all for today. You can go now.
Yeah. Can I ask
It's enough.
you? Yeah. Can I ask you one more time? One more number, Ibu. Five. Number 5. Can you see it in your
Number 5.
Yes, please.
Wait a minute. Number 5. It is only number 4. 1 till 4. I cannot find number 5.
All right. Number 4 is okay.
Oh, the last one. The last one was time to stop.
Yeah.
That's all for today. You can go now.
What number in your screen, Ibu?
Yes.
What number in your screen?
Number 5 is about homework, is it?
Yeah. Can you see homework, Ibu? Can you see number 5 homework on your screen? No? That's fine.
We can see it.
That's fine then.
Homework.
Yeah. So I will go back to the next classroom language. Like the next
number
one.
5. Okay. May I
you see number 5? Do you see number 5? No?
Number 5, may I continue?
Yeah, okay. Please do. Please do help us.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is your homework for tonight. Do exercise 10 on page 3 for your homework. Prepare the next chapter for Monday. There is no homework today. Remember your homework.
Then the last one is take a worksheet as you leave. Yeah. All right. Can I go back to the PowerPoint and let's see the next one is on managing or classroom management. Bapak Ibu, classroom management. And who wants to read for the classroom management?
Ibu Verastuti? Ibu Verastuti, okay, are you willing to do it?
Can I try?
Yes. All right.
Is that okay?
Yes. Yeah, Ibu Vera, please do.
Number 1.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, my student, please open your books at page 52. Come out and write it on the board. Listen to the tape, please.
Yes, go on.
Okay, get into your group of 4 and finish off this song at home. Okay, my student, let's sing a song. Everybody, please. All together now. The whole class, please. I want you to all join in. Could you try the next one? I would like you to write this down. Would you mind switching the lights on? It might be an idea to leave this till next time. All right, who would like to read? Which topic will your group report on? Do you want to answer question 3? Is that okay, Miss?
Yeah. Very good, Ibu. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu. Thank you. I just want to comment on something, but it just I lost it. Oh, this one, this pointer, Bapak Ibu. Finish off this song at home. Sometimes teachers do not use the fixed phrase. In this case, is at home. Sometimes teachers use put in here like finish off this song at your home. You don't have to do that. Yeah, I believe you don't do that. But in my experience, sometimes teachers there are some fixed phrase, but teacher do not use that. So in this case, at home is a fixed phrase, but many teachers still using at your home, which is not English, Bapak Ibu. Yeah. That's it. And then Prof. Isi, I may not show all of them.
Yeah, Bu Dewi.
Yeah.
Actually the session, the time for the session is up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it, Ibu. And I will leave this in the chat box, or I'll give it to the admin, Ibu. So that's it. That's it, Bapak Ibu. I hope this is beneficial for you, especially. I believe that you are familiar with all this expression, and you have plenty more, Bapak Ibu. The things that I experience, or my experience, said that many teachers out there still reluctant to use the classroom English, while actually the role for our students are very, very important. So the message is that let's improve, not improve, use more and more, use more English in our class. That's it, Bapak Ibu. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I give it back the time to Prof. Isi. Thank you, Prof. Isi. And I will stop the sharing. Prof. Isi, thank you.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Dewi. Although the time for your session is up, but would you like to give an opportunity for one question to give to you? Ibu Dewi?
Ibu Dewi, will you allow one question from the audience?
Okay, Ibu. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Audience, please, if you have any question to Ibu Dewi, we will allow one question before we end this session.
I didn't realize that my mic is unmute.
Okay, Ibu Verastuti, please ask the question.
Okay, thank you very much for the time, and I would like to ask a question for my, I do what Ibu Dewi said just now, that I I'm not a good model of English for my students, because most of my teaching time I do not speak English all the time, because of my students, the ability and the competence of my students. So if I use English at my class, so I need to speak twice, speak English and then translate it. And we have a very limited time, only 2 hours, two period in a week with all those materials. So it is kind of a doubt for me, it is a difficulties, so many difficult for me. So maybe can you, maybe the other teacher can share to me what should I do? I want to, but it is difficult for me. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Can I just answer right away? Okay.
Yes, please.
Ibu siapa ya tadi?
Bu Vera.
Bu Vera.
Vera.
Sorry, Bu Vera. I'm getting older and older. Bu Vera, I need to say this. Maybe it's a bit strong, Ibu, what I'm going to say. Please do not underestimate our students. Do not underestimate one thing, and the other thing is do not spoil our students. When I say do not underestimate our student capability, believe me that actually they can. Actually they can. The thing is that we often spoil them. Like what you mentioned, that Bu Vera is very kind-hearted after speak English, and then she helps the student to translate it. It's not only wasting your time, but it also spoiling your student, which is not good. Let me give you an illustration that happened to me from my student. When I'm getting older, I realized that my hearing is not as sharp as when I was younger. And sometimes, or maybe many times, I always say something like, huh, to when my daughter says something. And then she was so strong when saying, Mommy, Umi, I know that you can hear what I said. Don't get used of that. She's very strong. And then when she said that, I become alert. When my daughter talked to me, I prepare myself. Oh, my daughter is talking. So I need to kind of extra effort to hear, to listen to my daughter. Ibu, the situation is the same. So you have to be brave in getting to reduce less and less to spoil your student. Tetapkan, Ibu. Please be brave to start as many modeling the language, use as many language as possible. If you need to repeat, Ibu, if you need to repeat, still using English, but this is a matter of strategic communication. For example, like what I illustrate, your student doesn't understand knife, Sim doesn't understand knife, then you say, I need something to cut. Then she knows that what you mean is a knife, Ibu. So the key is to do not spoil, Ibu. Do not spoil and do not underestimate. We have to believe that they are actually able. They are more than what we know. Thank you, Bu Vera. Thank you, Bu Vera.
Thank you very much, Ibu Dewi. That was a very enlightening answer. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that there are still some people who want to ask questions to Ibu Dewi, including Pak Stiono and Ibu Indriana. But because we are running out of time and we have to move to the next session, so I guess we have. I guess now it's time to applaud Ibu Dewi for her great presentation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now let's move to the second session with Ibu Harumi. Yeah, Ibu Harumi will talk about continuing professional development, what, why, and how. In this session, we are having Ibu Harumi Manik Ayu Yamin as the main speaker, and we have two outstanding teachers with her session, with Ibu Harumi session. So continuing professional development, or CPD, is particularly important for English teachers, yet it is often overlooked, mostly due to ignorance, lack of institutional support, and complacency. This session examines the vital role of continuing professional development for English teachers in Indonesia. In particular, the session focuses on what CPD is, why it is essential, and how teachers can find numerous ways to do it. Success stories from two school teachers who have been actively developing themselves professionally are also shared in order to shed light on various paths that teachers can take in order to develop their capacity and professionalism. It is hoped that this session can encourage participants to reflect on their professional journey, plan their future, and follow steps needed to achieve their goals. Now, let me read the biodata of these three speakers in this session. Ibu Harumi Manik Ayu Yamin is a lecturer at the English Studies Program, Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia, where she receives her master's degree in language teaching. She is currently the director of Lembaga Bahasa Internasional, Fakultas Ilmu Pengetahuan Budaya, Universitas Indonesia, and the vice secretary of the Association for the Teaching of English as a Foreign Language in Indonesia, Teflin. And her research interests include language and identity, interculturality, and ELT materials development. Now, the second speaker, a teacher, Bapak Darmawan Syah MPD MSc, is a former high school teacher in Samarinda that is currently doing his PhD at Graduate Institute of Digital Learning and Education, National Taiwan University of Science and Technology. He received his master's degree from National Central University, Taiwan, and Yogyakarta State University. His research interests include artificial intelligence in education, virtual reality, and RSTEM education. Next is Ibu Susari Nugraheni, MSc, TESOL, is the founder of Go English, an English literacy school in Yogyakarta. After she graduated from State University of Yogyakarta, she studied at Queen's University Belfast, North Ireland, United Kingdom, where she received her master's degree in teaching English to speakers of other languages. She has taught at various schools and institutions, and she's currently working as a consultant for several schools in Yogyakarta. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ibu Harumi, Bapak Darmawan Syah, and Ibu Susari Nugraheni. Time is yours.
Thank you very much, Ibu Isi, for the kind introduction. Let me share my screen first, okay? All right, can you see my screen now?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Ibu. Yes.
Continuing professional development.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for responding. All right, so good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining the professional development session today by Teflin. And as Ibu Isi mentioned before, in this session, I'm going to present together with Bapak Wawan, Bapak Darmawan Syah, and Ibu Sari, Ibu Susari Nugraheni. So I'm going to start with my session first, about 20 to 30 minutes before I pass it to Bapak Wawan and Ibu Sari. Okay, now let me introduce myself briefly, although I know that Ibu Isi has already mentioned some explanation about my professional background. My name is Memi, that's how people usually call me. And then now, as a test, whether you listened to the explanation from Ibu Isi well or not, I'm going to show you some statements regarding my professional background. Some of them have been mentioned by Ibu Isi, our lovely moderator, but some actually haven't been mentioned. So I want you to guess which one is true. Let me show you one by one. First, I'm an English lecturer. Well, do you think it is true or not? You can comment in the chat box. Statement number 2, I'm a language center director. Statement 3, I've been a teacher trainer for 8 years. The last one, I've presented at international conferences more than 20 times. since I'm going to talk about professional development, I think it's fair for me to share a bit about my professional journeys as well. Okay, you can type in the chat box. Which one do you think is true? Yeah, actually, all of them are true. Okay, so again, in my session, I'm going to share what CPD is, continuing professional development is. I'm going to talk also about what makes them important. So let me show you quickly our objectives today. First, we'll discuss what it is about. What is CPD? And then the second one, why does it matter? Especially for English teachers in Indonesia. All of you are here on Saturday morning. All of you are English teachers, and I can see that you are very committed, okay? You can probably do other things, but you chose to attend this session because you want to develop yourself professionally. So for that, I give you 2 thumbs up. And then we're going to talk about some ways to do professional development. Attending an online training like this is one of the ways, but actually you can also have some other options in terms of developing yourself professionally. And then the last one is, this is also important, I want you to reflect on your professional development journeys. Okay? So let me start with the very first one. Okay, sorry, this is just to give you a briefer look of our plan for the next 80 minutes, okay? What, why, how, and a bit about journeys. What have we done and what's next for us? Okay, moving on to the first point, CPD. But let's start from the word professional first. What does it mean to be professional? Try to think of the definition. You can share your answer in the chat box, or you can also unmute and say it out loud if you want. I'm going to give you 1 minute to think and to respond. Choose whatever way that is comfortable for you. Typing or saying out loud, it's okay.
Can I say something, ma'am?
Sure, yes. Pak Hasto.
Yeah, in my opinion, to be professional means being able to do our job professionally.
Oh,
As
yeah?
a teacher, for example, if we are professional, it means that we can do the teaching activities at school according to the requirement for a teacher to be called professional, like being able to qualify the knowledge and skill in English, being able to use the language, be it for classroom management or also for common communication. At
Ah,
least there are
excellent.
2.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that is a very complete answer. Thank you, Pak Hasto. Again, I'm sure others have their own ways to define what it means to be professional. And since we have limited time, I'm afraid I have to move on. But again, what I'm trying to say is being professional can mean many different ways. But some of the words that we can use to describe what professional means are, first, the word professional is usually dedicated to professional development, both for themselves and for those people who are affected by their work. In our case, students are definitely the people who are mostly affected by our work as a teacher. Now, some adjectives that are associated with professional are, first, trustworthy, okay? And then second, reliable. We can rely on this teacher because we know that we can count on him or her. And then they are usually dedicated, professional teachers, and then they are committed. So these qualities usually define what being professional is. And most of all, professional means that we are reflective. When we do something, when we try one new activity in class, we don't just do it and then we don't really think how it has affected our learning objective, whether it has helped our students to meet the goal or not. So please spend 5 to 10 minutes at the end of your class, or perhaps 5 to 10 minutes at the end of your day to reflect how your lesson went, because it can actually do wonders to how you do your next step, okay, as a teacher. Perhaps in the following day, when you teach a different class with the same topic or the same lesson, you can tweak some things in your lesson so that the lesson will be more smoothly delivered. So you can see that being professional doesn't always mean that it's something grand, that you have to put on a suit and tie, but it's more about how you behave, okay? All right. Now, there's actually a lot of research on professionalism. The first one is teaching experience is not related to professionalism. I know it is very common for people to refer to how many years they have done something. For instance, even in my previous statements, I said that I've been a teacher trainer for 8 years. But it doesn't always guarantee the more years you have spent as a teacher or as a trainer that they will make you better than people with less experience. What I'm trying to say is, it is possible for someone to have spent so many years, but they just do the same thing again and again. If that's the context, it is quite obvious why the years might lead to nothing significant. However, if you spend many years and then you keep developing yourself professionally, you keep learning new things, you keep innovating, of course, the number of years will make a difference. Especially since there are some things that we usually will be able to do out of our experience. Teacher experience is not always related to professionalism. Next, the amount of professional development attended was found to be an important variable. For instance, most of you have finished your language training from University of Sheffield, right? And I think it was amazing, especially after that, you still attend today's session. So all of those professional development programs that you have attended are actually very beneficial for your professional development journey in the long run. The next one is academic qualifications were not, again, always related to professionalism. So you might get your master's, you might get your PhD. That's excellent. But it doesn't always mean that you will be more professional, because it's more about how you behave. It's more about your qualities as a person, as a teacher, that will show whether you are a professional teacher or not. Nevertheless, it is true that those with higher professional qualifications, those who are professors, those who have master's degree, were found to possess a perceived higher degree of professionalism. So what I'm trying to say is, continuing your study, that's excellent. But don't forget that you need to also make sure that you keep all of those qualities that are related to being professional. If you have both, it means you are definitely a professional teacher. So you can use one of them, but ideally you can combine them all together. So you will not only have this perceived higher degree of professionalism, but you are truly a professional teacher. So all of these information were taken from Kang, Hoon, and Aun research in 2008. And I'm sure there are still a lot of studies that focus on professionalism itself. Now, I'd like to invite you to be myth busters, okay? Not ghostbusters, but myth busters. Because apparently there are so many myths that are associated with professionalism. Let's reveal one by one. First, professionals work for big companies, organizations, or institutions. That might seem true, but I hope that all of you here agree with me that no, you can be professionals even if you work at small companies, even you work at a regular school, even you teach in a remote area, you can still be professional. Because remember, what I showed you before, it's more about the qualities. Are you reflective? Are you committed to develop yourself, to keep learning, to be open-minded, to receive criticism, to learn from your colleagues, and things like that? So, the first one is definitely false. This might be the image that is often projected, but it's not always true. Next, professionals have senior titles. Well, again, senior titles usually will lead to a higher degree of professionalism. But please don't be discouraged even if you don't have all of those fancy titles. Because even if you're young, even if you don't have plenty of experience, if you are committed to giving your best to your students, to your school, to your society, to keep learning and to keep developing yourself, you are professional actually. The next one, professionals know everything. Well, I think this is something that many people tend to think and tend to agree. But I'm sure you know that the more you learn something, the more you know that actually you know nothing. Okay? Because there is so much information, there is so much knowledge and skills to master that it's actually a very humbling experience to continue your study and to keep learning, because you know that, okay, I might know a bit more, but of course I don't know everything. But I might know a bit more about certain things, and I'm willing to share that with other people. So please don't expect that when I'm already a professor, if I'm already a master trainer, it means that I know everything. Of course not. You know more, but you don't know everything. The last one, oh, this is actually horrible. Professionals lack manners. Because you're already a senior, because you already have a lot of experience, because you see yourself as someone professional, it means that you can be rude, you can expect a lot from other people. But of course, this is just a myth, okay? A true professional will still be modest, will still be humble, and will still be polite to everyone. So I hope that here today, we can agree that all of these myths, although they might be quite common in our society, that they are just myths, okay? They are not always true. Okay, now let's talk about some elements to professionalism. I'm going to mention 3 elements, okay? The 3 main elements are knowledge, skills, and attitude. You can use KSA as an abbreviation to help you remember. First, for knowledge, it means that as a professional teacher, we have the knowledge of the subject, let's say English. We also have thorough knowledge of the teaching and learning process, the pedagogical aspect. We also know how the society works, okay? And not only that, we also know the policy and organization in education. So we know that actually it is a very broad thing when it comes to education. It's not only limited to what is going on in the class, but also in the society. For instance, how about the the prospect of Indonesia in terms of producing professional in the future, professional who can compete with other human resources from other Southeast Asian country, from other countries that are not just limited to Asian or Southeast Asian, but also from various countries in the world. As a teacher, it is our job to pay attention to what is going on in the world and also in the society in a smaller context as well. Indonesia, Asia, the world. Now, for policy and organization here, it can mean like, who should I contact? What is the rule? So things that are, I'm sure that you already know, perhaps from training, from your school, but you need to keep yourself updated with what is going on in the organization in Indonesia and in a broader context. Next is skills, okay? Skills here can cover many things, such as the ability to discuss educational issues, perhaps about the issue of bilingualism, and then the quality of work to the outside world. What is going on in other countries? And you are also able to conduct research within schools. It can be classroom research, action research. That's okay. It doesn't have to be something grand, but that you are committed to actually do it, that is something special. And then collaborative learning. So you tend to collaborate with your friends, with your colleagues, in your professional communities. And then you can also make innovations in the classroom and in the school. That you're willing to share your ideas and try to make positive changes in the school. Last is attitudes, okay? It means that you are dedicated to student learning. Sometimes when we are tired, when we have so many things to do, we might be tempted to do the easy thing, okay? But please think carefully. As a teacher, it is our job to do what is right, not what is easy or convenient. So when you try to reduce your workload, please think carefully. How will it impact my students? To what extent can I make it easier for me? If you think it will not compromise much, go ahead, okay? Because we teachers are always busy. That I understand. But I want you to think very carefully before you decide to make some shortcut, okay, in your grading or in your lesson planning and things like that. Although I do realize that you also have to be practical. Next, committed to the profession and the collective group of professionals. So you need to know what are teacher organizations, what are teacher associations, where you can develop yourself, where you can find colleagues, where you can collaborate. And then here, the willingness to be committed to the ethical code, to have collective knowledge, to account the quality of work, to always focus on improvement, and above all, to focus on continuing or continuous professional development. Okay, I know that's quite a lot to digest, but so far, let me recap. Let me give you a quick recap. So far, we have discussed what it means to be a professional, and then what are some myths related to professionalism, and the elements contributing to professionalism, KSA, yeah? Knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Having discussed all of those things, now we can come up to the definition. Here, I'm offering you a definition from Patwat and Dixit from a book published by British Council in 2011. Can I have a volunteer who can read the definition out loud? You can unmute.
Can I try?
Sure.
Can I try? Yes.
Yes, please.
CPD is a years and process A teacher strive to develop their personal and professional skills and to improve their knowledge, skills, and practice, leading to the empowerment, the improvement of their agency, and the development of their organization and the purpose. The
Okay.
purpose.
Thank you very much, Ibu Nur. Okay, here I put some words in red because I think they are the key words. So CPD is planned. It is not something that you just do at the spur of the moment. You actually spend time to plan it, to think ahead. And it is continuous and it is for the rest of your life. It is lifelong, okay? And through that process, you actually develop your personal and professional qualities. And some of the words that I underlined are knowledge, skills, and practice, because these will lead to your empowerment, the improvement of your agency, and of course, the development of your organization, your school, and your students. You can find many other ways to define CPD, but I personally like this because I think this very thorough, yeah, very complete. But if you focus on the red parts, actually, it is a very simple definition. Planned, continuous, lifelong, in terms of developing your personal and professional qualities. Okay, now we have done the first part. What is CPD? Now I'm going to move on to the next part. Why does it matter? And I'm going to start by explaining one event that happened back in 2018. This is a very revolutionary moment, a historical moment for English language teaching in Indonesia, because back then, the US Embassy, together with Teflin, we held Indonesian TESOL Summit for the first time. So in that event, we invited many stakeholders, teachers, and then publishers, researchers, representatives from the government, language centers, universities, and so many different representatives that they are all invested, okay, in the future of English language teaching in Indonesia. Now, the themes back then were reimagining teacher competence, in addition to the profession as a change agent. Because all this time in Indonesia, we tend to walk our own separate ways, okay? We have different paths and we never really sit down together and think. For instance, even for the most basic question, in order to be an English teacher, what is the minimum language proficiency? Especially nowadays, we tend to use CFR, yeah? Common European Framework of Reference, with A1 as the lowest, A2, B1, B2 for intermediate, C1, C2. We never really have an agreement on that, right? Until when we had this event, we finally came to the conclusion that the minimum requirement should be B2, okay? It should be intermediate. Although in reality, we know that some teachers can be lower than that, or some teachers can be even higher than that. But we think that is the adequate level. Although the more advanced your students are, the higher the level you should be. And then we also discussed the profession, teachers, as a change agent. So we came to this idea. Back then, it was presented by Professor Willy Renanda, an Indonesian scholar working in Singapore. So he discussed that English language proficiency is sine qua non of effective teaching. It is important, but it is not enough. So as an English teacher, we need to have good English proficiency. Remember the B2 level as the minimum. But in addition to that, we also need to know the knowledge of English, okay? So the language proficiency. And we also have to know the knowledge about English. So about a bit about the grammar, and then about how it is used in the society, so a bit about socio-cultural aspects also, a bit about linguistic, how to pronounce correctly, and things like that. And don't forget, we also need to have the knowledge about how to teach English, the pedagogy aspect. So having all of these will lead to the teacher professional knowledge. Now, in reality, we know that Indonesia, we still have plenty of room for improvement in all of those 3 areas. So again, it is up to us as a teacher to take active steps to develop ourselves professionally in the long run. Because if we see at this index, it is actually quite sad, yeah? According to English Proficiency Index in 2017, in Asia, we're still in the 10th position, way under Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, India, Hong Kong, South Korea, Vietnam, China, and even Japan. So we need to make sure that we can make innovations and we can inspire ourselves to do something. Well, since this was taken in 2017, hopefully there are changes when we take data from 2020 or 2021 later. But I'm not sure entirely whether we have already made a huge leap toward top 5. So again, this is something that we need to consider carefully. But again, why is English so important? Because this has been investigated even by scholars and as published by Harvard Business Review, that countries with better English have better economies, right? If you can read the captions here or the article here, billions of people around the globe are desperately trying to learn English, not simply for self-improvement, but as an economic necessity, because it is the lingua franca of global business, even in emerging, even for countries where English is not spoken as the first language. So emerging economies such as China, Russia, and Brazil, good English is a critical tool. And we want to empower our students so that they can survive. They can help build our country to be a better country due to its better English proficiencies. So it's not just income, actually. It's also about the quality of life. Yeah. We also found a correlation between English proficiency and the Human Development Index, a measure of education, life expectancy, literacy, and so many more. Okay. And if you check The Guardian, actually, it is also explained that there are some ways that we can do this continuous professional development. We can have like peer teaching, and we can also have some support from the schools. But above all, teachers need to take responsibility for their own growth. And this leads me to the next point, the third point, before I pass my session to the next 2 speakers. How can we do this? How can we do some CPD activities? Some of the possible CPD activities are, first, read articles, journals, and books. Spend some time. If it's not daily, weekly. Okay? Try to spend perhaps 30 minutes of a day. Or if it's too much, 1 hour per week to read something. You can use your smartphone. You can probably have access to hard copies. Do whatever that is convenient and accessible for you. But reading plays a very important role. And then try observing your colleagues' classes. You can explain to them that you're not there to judge. You're just there because you want to learn something from the way they teach. It will definitely reduce the pressure, okay? And then try to get the appropriate degrees and qualifications because they will help you tremendously to expand your horizon and to enrich your knowledge and your perceived credibility from the society as well. And then get connected. Join teacher associations. Join Facebook groups that are relevant for English Teaching Association. Join WhatsApp group, Facebook groups, whatever groups that you think will be beneficial for you. Because those are where information is usually distributed. Free seminars, scholarship programs, free resources, it will be very useful for you. And then you can form or join and regularly participate in learning community. Don't forget to attend workshops, training, and conferences. When money is an issue, I think due to the pandemic, there are so many free webinars that you can attend. At least you can try to attend those free ones. And then do research. It doesn't have to be a very big scale research. It can be something very basic. What if I try this activity? How will it affect my class? Okay. Try to read a lot of research that is done in a classroom context because I find that is usually the most doable or feasible for teachers. And then present and publish your best practices. You can participate at a seminar, at a conference, or you can publish, you can write, publish in a journal or a teacher's magazine, and let your ideas read by other people. However, again, I know we have to be realistic. There are always challenges of being a professional. So I don't want to sugarcoat this. So that's why I'm just putting these in front of you, because what I expect from you is try to navigate these challenges. Later, Bapak Wawan and Ibu Sari, they will also share how they probably try to overcome the challenges of developing themselves professionally and how they can overcome all of them. And usually the most significant challenge is work-life balance, yeah? How we can balance them. Well, again, we have to make some sacrifice sometimes, but we also need to think of our priority. What is your priority? And how can you juggle between work and life without sacrificing your mental health, of course, or your physical health? Next is time management. Usually we say that we don't have time. But interestingly, I think it's not about we don't have time, but how we choose to spend our time. We might spend 30 minutes on our social media, and we think that it's nothing. But if we say 30 minutes for reading an article, we might say that it is too much. So again, see how you spend your time. And then lack of resources. Yes, I agree that this can be a serious challenge, especially if you live in remote areas. But I hope that at least you can get access to internet, because by having the internet itself, you have access to so many useful things. And then lack of information. Again, that's why you have to get connected. You will get a lot of information from your network. Bad attitude. Oh, I think this is something that you have to reflect on, okay? We might feel reluctant to admit that we might have bad attitude, lazy, being proud. But I think the more you are exposed to professional people, the more you will look up to them and you will adopt their qualities. So find a good mentor and try to look up to your mentor. And last but not least, the workload. Yeah, we often do unpaid work. And again, that's why I understand that sometimes we have to really be clever with how we manage our time. And perhaps when there are times when we have to say no, we have to say no, because we have to prioritize more important things for our professional development. Now, I know that I'm actually probably exceeding my time limit, so I just want to quickly show you this, because these are English teaching associations that are very useful for you. For instance, like Teflin, I'm sure you know it. Don't forget that there will be an international conference in Padang, but that is also online, so you can attend it even if you don't go to Padang. And then we have Elite. Okay, this is for institutions under MORA's supervision, but this I believe is quite open. And then IETA for secondary school teachers. And then we also have a lot of other associations, for instance, like Indonesian Extensive Reading Association, IERA, and then ITEL for those of you who are interested in technology enhanced language learning. And here we have some associations in other countries. They usually host conferences, and you might want to check their websites, like Malta in Malaysia, CamTESOL in Cambodia, JOLT in Japan, CoTESOL in Korea, TESOL, this is from the United States. This is probably the biggest. And then IATEFL in England, in UK, and NELTA in Nepal. It's impossible to show all of them because there are still plenty of them outside, but I just selected some of these that hopefully can give you some ideas. And don't forget, there are also free resources. Later, I'm going to share my slides, and you can take a look of these ideas and resources. But what I'm trying to say here at the end of my session is, this is the food for thought that I hope you will considerably consider. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. This is a quote from Dr. Seuss, okay, an American children author, because what I'm trying to say is, here in front of you, you have so many different paths. It's up to you how you want to spend your time, okay? It's up to you whether you want to develop yourself professionally or not, because what road that you choose, that will decide who you will be in the future as a teacher, okay? All right, I will end my session here because I know that we still have Bapak Wawan and Ibu Sari here. Actually, I was going to show you one more teacher because I happen to know Bapak Wawan and Ibu Sari from this amazing professional development program hosted by UI and funded by United States, American State Department. It's called Camp SOAR. So it connected teachers from all over Indonesia. And there I met Bobby, a high school teacher from Kupang, who I actually invited to join our session today, but due to the natural disaster, I'm afraid he cannot join us. But he said that he's willing to share his experience because he recently went to Uzbekistan for a year to teach Indonesian as a foreign language. So here I mentioned some of scripts from my interview with him, but due to the time limit, I cannot discuss this with you, but you can read it on your own in my slides. And now, without further ado, I would like to pass this to Bapak Wawan and Ibu Sari, two teachers who are going to share their success stories. Okay, let me stop my screen sharing and I'll give Bapak Wawan the time to present his success story.
Okay, thank you very much. Give me a minute to share my PowerPoint, guys. I'm sorry, am I audible enough for you guys?
Yes.
Yes, and my
Yes.
Yes. Projected, right?
Clearly.
Loud and clear.
Thank you very much, everyone. Well, good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the Teflin board who invited me into the very special occasion. Why it's a very special occasion? Because I can meet you guys. There are 200 secondary school teachers that I would belong to you. I also high school teacher at the past before I continue my studies in Taiwan at this moment. Well, short introduction from me. My name is Dharma Wansa. You can call me Darmawan or Wawan mostly. I am a PhD student in the Graduate Institute of Digital Learning and Education, National Taiwan University of Science and Technology. So basically now I am located in Taipei, Taiwan, a bit far from everyone here. Now I am conducting research, finding development some advanced technology in under Intelligent Distance Learning System Research Lab. My research interest goes beyond to artificial intelligence in education. I also did visual argumentation, which is really great to teach students critical thinking, dialectical thinking, and argumentation mapping for sure. Virtual reality for EFL and ESL in Taiwan, robotic for STEM education. That's why we call it RSTEM. And I mostly conduct those research into learning analytics and systematic review. But in my spare time, I do love watching nonfiction and biography movies as well as the books for sure. But again, a PhD life that you don't have spare time much. So mostly I conduct research here. So that's the idea. Well, so the major reason why I beyond grateful to be invited in this special occasion because as I mentioned before that I am belong to you guys. I mean, I used to be a high school teacher in Samarinda, East Kalimantan for about 5 or 6 years after graduation, but I didn't count my past year experience teaching English in several institutions before I graduated from my university. I think that I really love being an educator because it's always been a major focus in my life. I do love engaging with my K-12 students because I think that, and I also believe that when you engage with your student with three parts of the forms like emotional, behavior, and cognitive, so I believe that they can learn at the highest ability. Therefore, at the time, I did some task projects that probably could be insightful for you guys for some projects that I'm going to share to you. All right. When I was still a high school teacher, I did pen pals. I think it is a collaboration project with two high schools in the United States at the time. I also did some English cultural theme for my English club. That happened like my second or my third year in high school. Classroom walls, I designed and I decorated my walls into many functional things, which is actually engaging to the student. And the last but not the least is technological enhance for language learning. I'm going to explain you this project one by one. So the first thing, I remember this one. I was contacted by one of the ESL teacher in New York at the time. She mentioned that how their student having some difficulties because they are ESL. Mostly their parents are migrant. They just came and arrived to United States to work alongside with their parents, so they need to learn English. And then it also helped us to building cultural bridge at the time. So I did some agreement with those teachers from Virginia and from New York. We tried to apply language skill at the time by using Pemples project. Well, Pemples is probably not really a fancy thing for us in our age, but for student at this moment, in this current digital age, Pimples is something more unique and more, more reliving the time. Why? Because they can have culture exchange, they can have social skills. We can also teach them deep passion and deep delayed gratification because they have to wait for a long time, like a month or 2 months before they're receiving the feedbacks from our collaborated school. But again, that's really interesting to do the Pimples project. The second project I did, well, I did something really, probably something new because I always wonder how to attract students to do, to come and join me in my English club. So every new academic terms, I did some English cultural theme. Like the first is Harry Potter theme. So I designed my own sorting hat. I have my own spell wand as a Harry Potter. I have my own rope from my graduation rope at the time, and we did some fun activities like a sorting hat selection to prefer the houses. Which houses are you? Are you Gryffindor, Slytherin, and some sort of things like that? Trivia about the Harry Potter, treasure hunt. That's actually I learned from a game store with Mamie at the time, and also singing Hogwarts song. And also another thing I did like a Hamilton musical. So Hamilton is becoming a very popular Broadway performing arts in the United States. And I think that teaching students with their own ideal music like rap song, hip hop, by going through this cultural theme will give them more confidence and more pleasure to learn new language. Because again, when you learn new language means that you have to learn culture itself, because that's what I'm doing at this moment. I am located in Taiwan. I learned the Chinese, and also I need to learn the culture of the Taiwanese and Chinese as well. So that's why I did something more English cultural theme when I was a high school teacher. And the third of all is decorating my walls. I am blessed. I was blessed when in my institution at the time they provide me a special or specific class for each teacher. So I have so instead of just having a plain and a plain and white walls at the time, so I decorated my own class with my own financial at the time, and then I did some sort of thing like this. Like every day, I had some new approaches like Math Minute Monday, Church Tuesday. So basically, something that they can do as a reflective or as a reflection, as a throwback what we have learned during the whole week. I also have a special envelopes on my wall, like what I miss envelope means that if there's a student miss their my class in the last week, they can check the envelope and they can take some specific quizzes for them and they can put it back. Projects, envelope, and varsity practice. Mostly SBMPTN exercises I put on the envelope, and if they have a time, they can get it. Try to answer those SBMPTN tests and put it back, and they will get extra credit at the time. And also some vocabularies wall. When they come to my class, they listen to me speak English, or they found on the book some of new vocabularies, so they can just put it on the stickers, sticker notes, and put it on the wall. And some collage. It's about give them a motivation to have a big dream, which university they would like to enter in the future. So that's attractive wall, the aims basically. Now, the last project I did is technology. Again, I think everyone agrees with me. Technology is getting second nature for students at this moment. We cannot deny, we cannot just stop them to say, please do not use your smartphone. Please do not use anything digitalized when you are in learning English or somewhat, because at the end they are fancy on that, and we have to try to be too fancy as well with those technologies. So I did many some projects like flip learning. I tried to employ virtual board, automatic writing system, and natural language processing such a corpus to teach my students at the time. And I think that giving immersing technology in my class give me more benefit to engage with my students, because I know their word and I want to be in their word as well. So those projects that I made when I was in high school teacher, I mostly wrote it. I wrote those projects and I presented into ELT conferences, teacher forums, and seminar. Because again, it is a part of my reflection. It is also part of my academics sharing to my fellow MGMP teachers and my fellow teacher association in my hometown, Samarinda, to share what I did and what I gained experience from my classroom, and giving some feedbacks whether it is correct or whether we need to some developing in some ways and sort of thing like that. But again, those projects never been stay in my desk, but I would like to share and loving sharing to everyone during my session in those forums. But again, I agree with Bumemi about reflection again, because I always think that I always remember that I did reflection all the time in my teaching experiences. I always reflect that, is it did I do it correctly or did I do it wrong? Why some students are not getting motivated enough, or why the students are still having a low achievement in some matter? So I think there's something missing in myself to be teacher as a professional career. So in 2017, I start thinking to plan my graduate degree. I chose several university, teacher college in Java, like Negeri Malang, Negeri Yogyakarta, and also I try to apply in New Zealand and Thailand as well, because I think that I think this is the time for me to not only reflect it, but also try to try to get more a degree for qualification as a teacher. But again, it's just a planning. 2017, I didn't get at all my planning. But in 2018, I was awarded beasiswa unggulan by Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan in 2018, and I chose my my interest program, instructional technology in Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. But beside being just a graduate student, I still involved in some many parts of the way. I remember when I was an undergraduate student, I loved doing debating, and I just involved in debating community as well. I tour like a like a new student in undergraduate student. I toured some debating tournament in Java, and also work in a Spain-based English course. They hire me to provide a virtual learning for Spanish EFL. I was still being invited into several forums about ELT, EFL, academic assessment of English. But of course, my main focus is I conducted research, design learning media, presenting, and many things else like that. So I'm still full-time graduate student and full-time educator. But it changed a lot in my second year as a graduate student in UNY. UNY offered me to get opportunity to get a double degree program in Taiwan. There were 6 graduate students from UNY were accepted in this program, and that's why I moved to Taiwan in my second year as a master student, and I work under lab in digital game-based learning research. My research focus was gamified learning for BIPA learners. So during my 1 year in this university, I developed and designed a platform for learning Bahasa Indonesia. And also I designed 2 gamified learning for Taiwanese students to learn Indonesia as a foreign language. One of my game is Liburan ke Indonesia. It's really fun and enjoyable game because it's like a traveling around Indonesia. I try to let them know some Indonesian culture into my game, and also in Sambung Kata game, I give them some listening, listening and pronunciation games for that. Those my project. I published on national paper that you can check later on into my slides and also here. Well, I earned my MSc and MMPD in 2020. At the first, I was one thought that I might get returned to Indonesia to start surfing again to be a high school teacher, because I always have a dream to be a high school teacher. But my professors say that you try to get a doctoral degree. I tried to apply that, and I gained a full scholarship from National Central University and National Taiwan University of Science Technology. I got both a scholarship and both LOA at the time. But I chose the latter. I chose to work together with some doctoral degree student in Taiwan Tech. That's what I'm doing now. And we try to intend now to do some research about virtual reality and artificial intelligence for the sake of language learning and education, not only in Taiwan, but we hope we can do it in Asia and Southeast Asia, in my home country. Well, that's the short story about my my experience and also my academic journey. I hope you guys, Bapak Ibu, have insightful idea about your own projects or about your own academic journey. And I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier if we can switch the time later in the future, and you can share your projects and also your academic journeys in the future. Well, that's enough for me. I will give it back to Memi. Back to you, Memi.
Okay, thank you very much, Wawan. If you can stop sharing, I believe Sari is ready to share her story.
Okay, thank you very much, Memi, and let me share my material. Okay. Well, what a wonderful experience from Wawan. And before I tell you about who am I, let me greet you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes, Professor Isi, Ibu Dewi, Memi, Pak Wawan, and also Teflin Committee, and all the wonderful teachers here. My name is Sari, and yes, today I would like to share a little bit experience about my professional development. And yes, like already said before, that I have various experience in teaching. Yes, and well, this is my educational background. I was graduated from State University of Yogyakarta. I took English language and literature. And then I continued my study in Queen University of Belfast. I took TESOL, teaching English for speaker of other languages. And yes, all of this background lead me to be, yes, these experiences actually. Yeah, I was to be a teacher in 2010. It was in Budi Mulia II International High School. I was an English teacher and also student advisor. Yeah, I spent 10 years there to be a teacher, and because of some reason, in the end of December 2018, I decided to resign. One of the reason is because I want to spread more, my little knowledge, my few knowledge to other people. So if I still stay in Budi Mulia, I have a limit time, so I cannot like do another things which I want to like spread my other spread my knowledge. And then I build up my own social community. It is a Go English. So firstly, Go English is dedicated for middle low society, because I comprehend that many people with excellent English, they come from like middle up social status, middle up family. And I see that actually there are a group of people who wants to learn English, but they do not have enough money, or uh, because of some reason to get more knowledge about English. That's why I built this community. And in the meantime, I got an offer as well from Universitas Islam Indonesia, English Education Study Program, to teach there as a part-time lecturer. And at first I thought about digital literacy, yes. The subject that now Wawan is mastering, And then I also got an offer from Amikom University to teach English there as well, for a communication and study program students. And then actually I proclaim myself as a full-timer in Go English, so part-time in as a lecturer in UE and also in Amikom is my like second activity, but my main activity is as a Go English activist or social worker, something like that. And then yes, because of
made me say that we need to have a link, link in connection with others teachers, and also maybe institution or something. My friend asked me to be consultant, English consultant, and also curriculum consultant. So I was an English language and curriculum consultant in Sekolah Teladan, and like a month ago, Sekolah Teladan, sorry for the sound, and also like a month ago, Sekolah Teladan called me again, and they offered me to be English language curriculum and consultant again, because it is a project. So I do not like work fully in this school. And then also in the like in October 2020, there is a school as well, a junior high school as well. It is due to the link connection, the friendship and link connection. SMP and Pesantren Bumi Cendekia proposed me to help them to build up their English skill. Not only the student but also the teacher. So they want to like improve their English skill. So if the student must have a good English, so we need to like build up the teacher competency first. That's why we now work both of them. So for the student, also for the teacher. And also in 2020, there is a school in Jogja as well. They asked me to be to help them, to help them deal with the curriculum as well. But it is not quite long times. It's only like 8 months, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but I get like a lot of experiences and knowledge in this school. And like I said, that I want to focus on my community, my Go English. And then in the end of 2020, help with my friends, I'm thinking that I need to build like a formal institution, because Go English is like community, and then I called a sociopreneur institution. And we need to legalize this activity, this program. And then in 2021, I established, I made a foundation, and it is called Saida Mariam Al-Kila Foundation. Okay, and then yes, before finally I am in this level, yes, I think that as a teacher, we need to develop ourselves, whether it is facilitated by the school, or we have to find our own way to develop our professional things. So I try to apply some scholarship. Some of them are succeed, and some of them just got like thank you letter or something like that. And then my first experience in dealing with a professional development, when I was joined in mobile learning and social networking course held by MTCP. It is a Malaysian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So we learned about the digital things at that time. And MTCP, the Malaysian Language Learning Center, they like taught about platform that we can use in a teaching and learning activity. Well, the first time I know about not quizzes. First time I know about Kahoot, about Plan Space, about Socrative is when I was in Malaysia. So Malaysian taught me how to use this platform and application. And then I was also invited to be the participant of pendidikan dan pelatihan peningkatan kompetensi guru bahasa Inggris held by P4TK dan Siamio RELC Singapore. And well, when I took my degree in Belfast, I also joined like professional development. There was IELTS workshop, and I joined the activity. So it is my first experience. Oh no, it's my second. Yeah, it is my second experience um, to be part of international like workshop. And then I think this is the the newest one in 2018. I was also appointed to be the participant of CAMSOR, like Mimi said. It is in-service teachers helped by Regional English Language Office, RILO. Well, and in the meantime as well, I try to challenge myself to join some conferences. Well, yes, I am a writer. I can proclaim myself as a writer, yeah, but I'm not the like academic writer. I prefer to write about like short story or a novel, something like that. But then I challenge myself to write academic things. And then in 2015, I joined a conference in Jogja in Sanata Dharma University. But it is a group. What is it? A teamwork. So I present this paper with my two other friends. But then in 2017, I challenged myself again. While it is in the meantime, I was finishing my master degree. I joined the GALT call 2017 in Matsuyama, Japan. I discuss about the Socrative Land Space and Padlet platform to teach reading for Budi Mulia 2 senior high school students. Yeah. And then, yes, here are some of my publication. Like I said that I love writing, but it is not an academic things. It is more like fun things. Yeah, I wrote short story like anthology books and then poem, articles, and some of them. Okay, but actually, I really want to write a journal. So maybe in my nearest plan is publishing a journal. I can make it. And then beside all of those activities, I also try to challenge myself to other things. And in 2012, I was chosen as a one of the teacher who can like accompany my student as a PIC teacher to go to Australia to do a cultural exchange and also school visit. And then in 2013 and 2016, I went to Switzerland twice with my student as well. We do cultural exchange and also homestay program there. We did some performances and presentation and many things. While I was finishing my master as well, I did two maybe like two other big activities for me. I was joining in a volunteering activity in Marie Curie Ulster, Ireland, United Kingdom. So every Tuesday and Thursday, I went to Marie Curie shops and do the volunteering activity there, an hour in every session. And also, I joined in a program. It is called the Barnados QB MSc TESOL project. I'm learning English. So we created Indonesian student. We were 5. We created a handbook for refugee to learn English because most of the refugee who came to Ireland, they cannot speak English, even write in alphabetical order. Well, yes, and here these are my achievements so far. I hope that there will be more. Actually, in 2013, when I was in a senior high school, it's not really relevant, but it's okay. I was a winner of a essay competition, but I think this point is like my starting point to achieve something bigger, because I think because of this, yeah, I can study in UNY. I was PBU student, penerimaan bibit unggul, so I didn't need to like do some tests in UNY, yeah, because of my achievement, yeah. Gitu. Well, and also in 2014 when I was in Budi Mulia, yeah, my works, it is a children book, children novel, was chosen as a karya sastra terbaik yang diadakan Balai Bahasa Yogyakarta. And wow, I spent too much time. Well, yes, this is the scholarship that I was, yeah, alhamdulillah, got. I am a LPDP, and when I was in undergraduate, I was worthy of bantuan bimbingan mahasiswa BBM, beasiswa BBM, and when I was in a high school, yeah, I got a deputy major scholarship as well. Well, actually, yeah, I want to discuss more. Well, I want to discuss about the Go English, and this is my sociopreneur program under the Yayasan Sayyidah Mariam Al-Kilaya now. But it is actually the founding father of Yayasan. Yeah, I created nonprofit and also profit activity, and these are the activity that I conduct, like free English class, guru pembelajar, guru menginspirasi, Jumah Barokah, and bantuan modal UMKM. And I will not discuss about the profit activity because yeah, it's like others, yeah, like giving lesson, something like that. And these are some the pictures to give you Bapak Ibu description about my activity. Well, this is I conducted this in Jember, like in a very mountainous place in Jember. You know. I spent some days there. I went there twice, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, to help the teacher there to teach about not only about English but yeah, other subject as well, because in this school there was only one teacher due to yeah some problems lah, yeah, and then they only have one teachers while they have to teach 6 classes. And then I and my friend asked me to go there, and then yeah, we did like yeah teaching activity there. And then here, this is one of the relocated Kemsor alumni. We did a webinar. It is called like Guru Pembelajar. So we discuss about many kind of issues about education in and this is a series of webinar. And bottom here is my activity, Go English activity. So all of them are yeah free activity. So this is my activity in with children, and this is Sunday free English class with Bruce. So I invited native from Australia to have a class with my students. And this is I Go English with Komunitas Jendela, like welcomed a school from Australia, and this is yeah my activity. And actually there is a yeah video. This is about Jum'ah Barokah. So every Jumat I yeah do some charity, and then also Go English like conduct pinjaman modal tanpa riba. So maybe it's not really relevant with education, but I think we need to help people not only from hulu tapi juga hilir, and yeah vice versa. And then oh sorry, and then yes, it almost end. And the concept of Go English, so it is integrated learning, and also we use project-based learning activity. In Go English, I create the curriculum consists of English itself because yes, my basic is English, and then in the material I put like life skill, character building, and also religious values. So because yeah, I think all of these are the knowledge, the skill that we need to comprehend in this era. Yeah, English, life skill to be independent, character building. Yeah, to define who you are, define yourself, and also religious values as your basic things. And mostly I teach and I create curriculum using story-based learning. So all of them are what? Oh, in one package, something like that. And oh yeah, this is the activity that I conducted. It is in Chode, Suratnajan Chode. It is in the river bank of Chode, yeah, one of the biggest river in Jogja, and most of the people are from marginal status. And then yeah, this is the foundation that now what I manage. Yeah, I am the founder as at the same time I also the what ketua yayasan, something like that. But we work together here actually. Yeah, we have Alkila store, we have Komunitas Literasi Himawari, which it is in Nganjuk, and we have Alkila Institute to accompany a student to have their um, sekolah pendampingan because of this pandemic. Yeah, so some parents need pendampingan instead of using Zoom. And then yeah, Go English itself. And in this year, I built my formal school, Alkila School, Early Childhood Education, and I hope that in July we can run the school. And I think that's all for me. Sorry if it is too fast and too long as well. And this is my quote: when you can do something where you just do nothing. And you can visit my Instagram if you want to know more about what is Go English and also my foundation. Please visit this this website. So that's all for me. Mimi, thank you very much for the time.
Ibu Mei.
You're welcome. Yes, thank you very much, Sari. I think it's time for the Q&A, although we don't have much time, and I will invite Ibu Isi back as the moderator.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's have one question for this session because time is up. Time is we are running out of time. One question, please. Would you like to raise hand or would you like to just mention? Okay, anyone want to volunteer to ask question? Okay, there is a question from Ahmad Fauzan to everyone. Let me ask, would you please? Okay. Would you please tell us how to be a professional teacher in creating literate students in this era of digital formation? Show me. Ibu Harumi, would you answer that question?
Okay, so you're asking how to make our students to develop their literacy. Is that the question?
Digital literacy.
Yeah,
digital literacy.
Oh, digital literacy. Okay, wow. When it comes to digital literacy, I think Wawan is the most suitable person to address that. Wawan, why don't you explain first, and I'll add some explanation if needed.
Okay. Again, from my past experience, I remember that that at the time, I did some project about fake news, right? So I come up the idea that there are many fake news on the social medias, on our digital content, that lead students to to have some different perspective in one point, right? So what I did basically try to accumulate all the idea of fake news, what exactly fake news, what exactly um, uh, why fake news can do some harm teams on for everyone else and affect to everybody else, right? So we start to making some project like analyzing what exactly fake news on the story. So we use some online board at the time, and then we identify fake news or real news, and some sort of thing like that. So the idea is like having more time for student to to be criticized, to criticize something which is happening in our daily life. So I think it's a part of authentic learning as well, and also it's a part of how they can deliver the idea into real life. Yeah, by using technology. You don't have to be fancy. I mean, I always agree that technology don't have it's not necessary to be fancy in some sort of point, but I think it is better if those technology can be really fully applicable in your situation, especially in digital literacy. Yeah, I think so. That's one of my experience. We fighting the fake news.
Yeah, I agree. I think the ability to read critically is very important. So yeah, I think when it comes to digital literacy, Bapak Wawan has addressed the question very well. Although as I read the question in the chat box, I think it's to create literate students. Yeah. So literate here, I'm not sure whether it's specifically for digital literacy or it's just for literate in general.
Yeah.
As I said before, if you're interested in motivating students to like reading, you can access IERA, Indonesian Extensive Reading Association. But basically, if you want your students to like reading, well, you have to make them read. But you also have to give them choices, what kind of reading that they find interesting or rewarding. So if they like K-pop, well, let them read text about K-pop. It can be articles, magazines, blogs. But the more they read, the higher the likeliness that they will be literate students. I think that's all, Ibu Isi.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ibu Harumi, Bapak Darmawansa, and Ibu Susari Nugraheni for the very inspiring talks today. But I'm afraid we are running out of time. So now we are going to the end of the session or the program for today. Okay, now we'll have the screenshot photo session. Yeah.
Ibu
Are
Dewi.
you ready?
Yeah.
So everyone can turn the videos on. Okay. I'll do the screen share. I'll do the screenshot.
Pak Taufik,
1, 2,
where are you?
3. Okay. I got. Okay, please. Ibu Emi, I got one. Can you continue the next?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I think, yeah, perhaps it's not possible to take all of the participants' picture, but I think, yeah, some samples will do.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, and see you in the next program with Teflin. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, everybody.
For all the
Prof.
sisters.
Isi.
Thank you, Almighty Lord.